And that's why we hold this hearing, is that everybody come forward, tell us what are your concerns and what are possible solutions.
Are there any precedents that you look at now with respect to those hearings and those determinations?
I said much about that hearing. I can't say, I enter it with an open mind. I see the problem. I specifically, it's my training as a former judge, I don't try to form solutions. I want to hear what people have to say, want to follow their logic, understand their arguments, etc., and then on the basis of what I've heard, do a synthesis and saying this is the best way to go forward. And the same thing with the community broadcasters said, come up with a code. We hopefully will do it by September, and we'll approve it, etc. I think that's the way to. I mean, I've been saying everywhere in the country that our whole system, which is based on access, in television broadcasting, and making sure that if you want to be in the broadcasting field in Canada, you have to have a license from us. We control the access, be it by satellite, be it by cable, be it by over-the-air broadcasting, etc. Well, that's not working anymore. That's fading before our very eyes.
Question here.
Yeah. Norm Boland from the CMPA. You've often talked about, and you did again today, about the need for the Commission to have more power and more tools to work with going forward, which is something we've agreed with because you really have just big hammer tools like license renewal. Could you be more specific about what your recommendation would be to those who might change the system going forward in terms of the regulatory authority and tools of the CRTC, what you would recommend based on the experience you've had and the frustration you've experienced?
Well, you're absolutely right. We have a nuclear bomb or nothing. There's nothing in between. As for instance, one thing I'd love to see is what the Australians have. For instance, they have something they call a mandatory voluntary code, mandated voluntary code. Sorry. So basically, you go to a group of industry and say, develop your code and come to us with an answer. Otherwise, we will mandate for them. They have a formal structure for doing it. That, I think, is a wonderful way of focusing the industry, come together and solve their own problem. Another one is called administrative monetary penalties. Basically, that we could say, you've broken the rule. Now, first of all, get on site, but secondly, pay a penalty or pay compensation. You can either way. You could also mandatory arbitration. That we could say, there is a problem here. You, the BDUs, and you, the whatever, say broadcasters, independent broadcasters, you need to resolve this. We are going to, and you obviously can't, we're going to arbitrate it for you, whether you want to or not impose the solution, etc. That sort of thinking is what I'm thinking. You can look around, various countries have various models, etc. Some work for them, wouldn't work here, others would. But those intermediate steps in order to and get people who really have to coexist. They can't go in here against their personal momentary animosity, overcome it and sit down and work things out. That's what we really need.
Question here.